Hello, everybody. How are you going today? So, I don't normally watch other shows, like on YouTube and things, because well, basically, I don't know, life's so busy. And these days, I just kind of tune into my own guides. I have guides all over the universe, my higher self. So, yeah, I don't really, like, I stopped kind of watching other channels and things, but I did come across, like, years ago, this guy called Tim Tactile. I'll put it in the notes below, but he was on Gaia TV. And then I just came across him again on YouTube a little while ago. And sometimes it's fun just listening to something a little bit different. So Tim is just the sweet German guy, and he is I don't know, he worked in kind of undercover programs for the government, military. I don't know, like some of the stuff that is coming out these days is just like, what? Like, we have just been like hidden away from all of this crazy stuff. And he has been like conversing with what we call aliens, consciousness from other worlds, expanded consciousness, the technology, which he's talked about some technology that I have actually seen in the angelic realms as well, and other realms, and on Galactic Federation motherships. Like he's talking about this kind of looks like an iPhone or iPad, but it looks like glass, so you can actually see through it. I've seen those, and it's kind of like sometimes you can get ones that are holographic, that kind of like on a sci-fi movie or something where a hologram kind of projects out and you can kind of like, it's probably not even sci-fi movies anymore, is it? To be honest, it's probably, I'm sure AI does that, doesn't it? I don't know. I need to watch more so I know what's going on in the world now. But it is confusing because honestly, you don't know what is AI or not anymore. So this Tim Tactile, he talks about levels of consciousness, and I quite like how he does it because he does it in quite a simple way. Well, he can do both. He can do it in a very kind of intelligent way where you're like mind blowing, or he just kind of breaks it down into a more simplistic way as well. So, take it all or leave it. Everybody has different belief systems, and I'm sure we're only getting a tiny little part of this puzzle, and there is so much more out there in the universe and other ways of describing it. But I took notes. He always talks about shift happily now. So he wants all of us to shift into, say like a new earth, fifth dimension, like a higher perspective. He wants us to do it all happily, which is what I love about him. He's like trying to bring joy with all of this weird new world that we're experiencing. He wants us to do it in a more of a flow state, a more enjoyable way where we're not having quite as bumpy a ride as we have been. So, yes, that sounds better, doesn't it? So, what Tim was saying is we're living in a quantum continuum, meaning that the universe never started. And this is the information that I've received as well. So, the universe didn't actually start, it always has been. We're just playing a game of limitation in our reality construct. And we are doing like a, birth to death situation. So it means there's a start to finish. So we are so used to believing that you start something and then you finish something. We're not used to the circle or the infinity of where it just keeps going, and it always has been and always will be. When that gets a bit overwhelming and confusing, you could just look at it, say, is the void where everything starts, everything kind of can be created. So source energy starts from there and then has these waves of thinking, who am I? What am I? How can I express myself? How can I experience? What can I be? Then every single potentiality or possibility projects out into the holographic universe, out into the quantum field, and become something. So yes, you could say creation had a beginning, but it always has been at the same time. So that beginning, that nothing always has been. And I know, your mind can go crazy. After a while, you start to get used to it that, yes, everything always has been. It always has been here. We are eternal. There is no end. So that means that messes with time, because if there is no beginning and no end, then time gets a bit complicated. But anyway, that's another that's another video. So we've shifted our consciousness as, as souls. We've shifted into a level of reality for limitation so that we could be born, like even when you're in the void, it's like you can be born, it's like an idea gets born. That idea gets born, but it's very hard to be actually born, because you still remember who you are and that you always were and always will be. So in a reality construct like Earth, you get to be born and then you forget that you are source energy or you are a higher soul. You forget. So it's like we call it a limitation, but it's not really a limitation. It's such a possibility and an honor and an incredible feat to create that experience as a soul. Not, I think this Earth game, so many more souls keep wanting to come in, because to be born, if you're a soul, you haven't been born, like you always have been. So you want to know what it's like to be born. Yeah, stay with me. It's okay. So we shifted our consciousness into a level of reality for limitations so that we could be born. The universe always has been and always will be. So Tim, pretty much, yeah, that's why I liked him, because he's saying exactly the same thing that I've said. I did write a book years ago, but I think my book, I would probably update it now, because I did talk about more of the beginning of creation, the beginning of consciousness, like the creator, sends out waves of thinking that creates this big bang, which creates kind of a universe, but it just already was here and already has been here. And there are many other universal constructs as well. There's not just this one. There's not just the earth, heaven, galactic realms, and all the realms that are in this earthly construct. There are many other universes as well, many other world theories. So we get convinced that we are limited. So we come into this whole reality container where we're told, no, you're just a human and you've got to learn this, learn how to walk, learn how to talk, go to school or whatever you do, go to get a job, and then maybe have a family, then you die. So this is what we get taught to do. So we have come into reality and been convinced that we are born into something. So then we become that something. We become that personality that we get told or taught that we are. And we get told that we die. And I've heard near-death experiences talk about beings. This is me. This is not what Tim said, but I've heard people that have died and they've come back again. But there's support people, like beings on the other side, that help you stay in this sleep amnesia. So they're beings that actually keep you asleep in order for you to play the game, because part of your soul purpose, your soul contract, part of this game is to stay asleep for a while. And some people wake up earlier, some people take longer, some souls want to play the game in the third dimension for longer, some people want to stay, repeat the patterns, so then they really master that experience. Yeah, so there are beings that keep us asleep as well. And I'm not talking about the reptilian beings that also manipulate. These are beings that have been told that we've actually said for them, yes, keep me asleep for a bit longer. These beings are talking to the higher self. So when we talk about the Big Bang Theory, this is Tim. saying this. When we talk about the Big Bang Theory, maybe we could just say that that it was created to give an experience of a start, an experience of a birth. But in a quantum continuum, is there really a beginning? A quantum continuum just keeps going. So quantum physics can explain that there was no creation, there was no start, there is no end. The quantum continuum keeps going. So we get to come into this reality of limitation and explore what we are not and what we are, what we like and what we don't like. That's all stuff that I keep saying that. So this is Tim Tactile. So he calls this this Earth game, he calls it a level 3 reality. So we come in and get to experience linear time and space with limitation. So the level 3 reality is a reality with limitation. So we're not our expanded versions. We can't create as fast as we normally would in the higher realms. Higher realms, we can do so much more. I mean, even, levitation, the telepathy, the everything. We've got all of those gifts online. So when you move back to a level 4 reality, you remember that the universe is expanded and full of possibilities and opportunities. So that's what we're in now. Souls like us watching this, we're at a level 4 reality or higher. So we're at level 4 where we've remembered that we are it all. We are the omnipresence, the totality, the oneness of all that is. So quantum physics becomes a living reality. So quantum physics is actually really, really helping the spirituality, I think, even though spirituality is going a bit all over the show now. Some of it's becoming like a religion, everyone's putting themselves in another box of the spiritual box, but it's all right. It's part of what, we came to limit ourselves. So yeah, we're in a quantum continuum. So we just keep going and keep going. So a level 1 reality, this is what Tim's saying, a level 1 reality would be a stone. So its consciousness, existence is all about being aware that it's a stone. Okay, so level 1 reality would be a stone. So you're not, you're not going to get a job. I don't think stones get a job. I don't know, maybe stones they probably do have a part to play, don't they? Because without stones, life could be a little bit different without stones, to be honest. So everything is very valuable. So when you look at a stone next time, just send it love and appreciate it. So level 2 reality would be plant life. So plants, they feel more alive, don't they? So you can grow another part. So a stone, you can't necessarily grow another part of your stone. Unless it's kidney stones, you can grow a couple of those. So plants can grow, they can grow and expand. Okay, so plants have a bit more awareness than a stone, a bit more movement, malleability than a stone. So level 3 reality, which we've been in, we look into the mirror and say, this is me. So this is what we're doing now. We're looking in the mirror and we're like, that's me. Even like animals now are starting to look in the mirror and kind of recognizing themselves, or, they still might give themselves a fright sometimes. Like you see those cat videos and dog videos where they've freaked themselves out because there's a mirror in front of them. But we are, as humans, most of us are pretty aware when we look in a mirror or we look in a pond, puddle, a reflection, we're like, yeah, this is me. So we have a quantum container where we can collect data. So that's what we're doing. So each one of us has our own soul container, our soul signature, and we can collect data. So meaning that we can see what we like, what we don't like, what works for us. We've learnt that, we've learnt this, we've expanded this. So we're collating all of this information, all of this data about ourselves. And so source energy can also, because we are source, we are connected. So source energy is really seeing what it is and seeing through the different eyes, the different perspectives, the different personalities of the soul container. It's collecting all of the data for every single thing. Even, like, yeah, everything just collects data. Even the stone collects data of just sitting there, So, yeah, everything is an information and feedback loop. So that is what Tim was saying. Everything is an information and feedback loop. So we're recording everything and it's going back to source. We're recording everything, and also the guides are just saying it's within our cells as well. So there's a lot of stuff that in our DNA and our cells that has been recorded, and that's when you get that ancestral line, the ancestral history, where it's come from, bloodlines. You've got information within your cells, within your DNA, and also there's information with the food that you eat. So the food has information. Also, like, the chairs or the beds and things that you sleep and sit on, that has information. So we're just collecting data and information everywhere we go. So we are the universe, and it wants to provide you with a stabilized home. Like, the universe wants you to be happy, it wants you to be comfortable, it wants you to be joyful, because you're it. You are the universe. You're the creator, but it does allow you to be miserable if you want to be. And that we're still collecting data that way. And so it's never a loss if it's something that we perceive as negative. To the universe, it's not, because it's information and it's so valuable to the universe. Like, if we're really not enjoying it, it's still an experience for the universe. And we'd be like, hey, well, maybe we won't do that as much in our next experience. Or we might, we're choosing to master everything on earth. So, can we master miserability? Can we just let that miserable state flow through us so that we can master it? Because if we don't master the things that we wanted to on earth, then we'll just come back and try again. So you just got to let stuff go, people. Let it all go. So if you want to go higher, if you want to go to higher consciousness, you do this from within. Okay, so sometimes, like, people will go travel the world and just try to raise their frequency, or, just find that beautiful vortex that will take them to the unknown. But it's actually within you. It's within, like, your heart portal. Everything is within you. So if you want to go higher, you've got the vessel right here. You're right here. You're it. You go higher through yourself. Okay? So you can do it with meditation, mindfulness, telepathy if you want to connect, or remote viewing, or biolocating. Your vessel, this body, or the heart vessel, or the energetic body, can do it all for you. You don't have to go to some guru or some specialist to go higher. So we are shifting into level 4 reality. So Earth, this is what's happening. Earth is shifting from the level 3 reality to a level 4 reality. So that lets go of limitation. So that lets go of, like Tim was saying, the Newtonian physics. So, this is where we come into more quantum physics when we're in a level 4 reality. So our manifestations will speed up. Everything's going to get faster and faster. So level 4 opens us up to the oneness of the universe. And we realize that the universe is all loving. It's organic loving. This is what Tim said. That's what I love about him. It's more, that it is a loving universe. Sometimes we don't think it's a loving universe because of what's going on Earth, but we've been allowed to contribute to this reality. So we really need to take responsibility for our thoughts and feelings. If we're putting out really negative stuff, that's contributing to the negativity on Earth. So we really need to, okay, come on, get back in alignment. You don't always have to feel good. Just try and get to that neutral space. Or if you feel angry, sad, worried, then just try and let it flow through and give yourself compassion and love for it. Okay? So you don't want to look back, pass on from this world and go, oh, damn, I was miserable and I was angry at that person from 20 years ago and I was sad and I was worried. Why did I do that? I should have just enjoyed it. It was a short experience. I should have just made the most of it and had fun and, focused on what I enjoyed, what I love, focused on my passions. I should have focused on my interests and just, relaxed and let it flow. So when you go to level 5, a level 5 consciousness, beings are more energetic. Okay, so we're more of a third dimension. We've been more like a carbon kind of based, from the soil, from the stars. That's what our body is created from, all of this, everything around us on Earth. But as you move your consciousness, you go to a lighter body. So they aren't particles. So the lighter body is not particles, it's more energy. So it's not really matter, it's energy, but it's still a body, it still feels more real than this Earth experience, because the Earth experience isn't as real as the higher realms. But at the moment, it feels extremely real. I always try and pinch myself. Yes, ouch, it's real. So they might, the level 5 consciousness to us might look more like orbs, or they're in high frequencies. It'll be like Tim said, like a 10K computer. That's what I've said before, and I've heard other people say that is, like we're in an old 80s computer system, whereas the higher realms are just in this fancy quantum computer where they're doing things fast, like their processing systems, just like, we're still on the old dial-up, still trying to connect. We can't even find our connection. Even like the Wi-Fi here is just slow. So the level 5 consciousness is just like super fast internet speed. And so the information that a level 5 reality body can contain is so much higher than ours. So the higher realms, the data and information container, like sometimes, it gets annoying because your phone gets full really quickly on Earth, like you're like, oh my gosh, my iPhone's like full already. Or, your computer's like got no storage left. And you're like, what, how did that happen? Well, that's what's happening to like us in this vehicle, this human body, this avatar. We have this limited storage space. So that's why it's really beneficial to get rid of like all your old crap that you don't need anymore, your old apps that are open in your brain. So that's your old belief systems, your old limitations, your just stuff that no longer serves you. So great just to get rid of that. And then you'll have more space for new information. So the higher realms just absorb, they're like a sponge. They just absorb even more information than we do. So our bodies are covered in earth minerals and other particles, so we have, like I was just saying, the soil, sand. We're made of, old stars that have come down, asteroids, like so much. We're made of so much stuff, probably old worms. So nice. So we would, so the higher realms, we'd call them light beings. So level 6 reality, we still exist, but we are nothing. So that's where the void, so that's what Tim's saying, is the void is a level 6 reality. So the void is like the nothingness where nothing exists and everything exists at the same time. So it's the black, the darkness, before the light, before the colors, before anything is projected out into the universe. So the void is all possibilities and opportunities contained in one space. So it's where there's nothing, there's no one, there's not even you, it's you but nothing. Like you are it all and you are nothing. I love it, honestly. I love the void. And then level 7 was interesting. This is Tim's theory. Level 7 reality. So Tim actually has being 6. He's talked to from all these undercover programs. It's level 6 consciousness. So he's talking to, he sees it as a blue orb, a frequency orb. Level 6, being 6. So being 6 has told him a lot of this stuff. So level 7 reality is the most stable and most harmonious, is what Tim says. So it's the unification of all beings. So then, then can there be something after level 7? Wow, I mean, who knows? You can just keep going, can't you? So what Tim's saying is level 7 reality is like you're zooming out and you're seeing it all. So it's like the universe does a selfie, is what Tim says. So the universe takes a selfie. So it sees it all. I mean, I don't know. What do you think comes first? Nothing or it all? That's, there's no first in the universe. We're so used to first because we're used to competition, or we're used to school where you're last or you're first or you're second or you're third. We're so used to having that hierarchy or number system that we can't, so hard to wrap our head around that nothing comes first. Everything just is. It's like, yeah, can go crazy. So we can feel in our hearts that there is so much more, that there is so much more available to us. We have always been told what to perceive and told what to think. Now it's about remembering to tune into your own heart portal, our heart's wisdom, and ask yourself, what does my heart tell me? What do I want to experience? You have the tools to create your most magnificent movie. You have the skills to paint your most beautiful picture. It's your journey. Do it your way. Ask yourself, what would you love to experience? Tune into your divine blueprint and feel beneath your cells and particles. Tune into the energy of what you want to create. So you are amazing. So thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. I will put Tim Tactile's website. He's not sponsoring me. I just thought he was such a fun guy, and I love how he just simplifies the levels of consciousness. It just makes it easy, because we can overcomplicate this whole thing, I tell you. So just have fun. Love you guys so much. Sending peace from New Zealand. I am Jozee, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.